Apollo 9, the proving ground of the moon landing charade. Essentially testing manoeuvres supposedly round the ball Earth. Two craft 100 miles apart come together and dock whilst they're supposedly doing silly speeds around globe Earth, preparing for the moon landing. So let's have a listen to the story and let's break it down for the absurdity that it is. We know the globe is scientifically impossible anyway, but let's just look at this globe evidence with a little bit of discernment and just break it down for the nonsense that it is.
So when we first got into orbit, we had a lot of stuff to do, and so we needed to make sure
Dear, oh dear.
that we had all the data we could get.
Again, nickname Spider. I'd call her Airfix. I'd call the old girl Airfix myself.
The lunar module had to land on the moon. I mean, that's what it was designed for. And then it had to get back up to the command module so there was a ride home.
How does that sports car handle, Jim?
Again, I don't want to be rude or disrespectful, but I don't give up demonstrable reality in favour of stuff like we've got on our screen right now. I'm sorry. That is clearly ridiculous. Just listen to your mate there trying to make this interaction seem real when actually he's chatting to a fucking model. 2 secs.
How does that sports car handle, Jim? Pretty nice.
It's really very difficult to get the coordinate system in your head. Normally we docked looking out this way, and for the docking with the lunar module, you had to look out this way. So the control system didn't operate the way it normally would.
It was the most complicated, messy system of springs and levers and latches and unbelievably complex.
Did you hear that? A system of levers and springs and unbelievably complex. Listen to that. Levers and springs. In the cold, dark void of pantomime space, the vacuum, where you get extreme temperatures of cold and heat. And this extremely crude system works on levers and springs as in incredibly complicated. Can you see how ridiculous this is already? On a tower crane on the back, you've got the electrics box, which in the winter months has to be heated up with a radiator, which is already in there, I may add. If it isn't, the electrics, the whole crane doesn't work because the temperature is too cold for the electrics, it won't work, and the crane shuts down. I've seen a £1 billion project come to an absolute grinding halt with 12 tower cranes just stood there, whilst men were going up tower cranes with hair dryers trying to warm up the back box because they didn't tinker with the settings from summer to winter. My point is, imagine all this kit, this 1960s kit with springs and levers in the vacuum of space with the temperatures changing, getting extremely cold and then warm. I mean, come on, it doesn't take much to work out. This stuff's ridiculous. Demonstrable reality tells us anyway, but even their own claims, their own footage, models, it clearly is ridiculous. And if you just wanted a bit more footage to get you salivating over the daftness that is NASA and Apollo 9, we'll just have one last look at this pantomime that is Apollo 9. Bear with me. This is some more footage of them practicing the docking procedure, supposedly around a ball Earth, preparation for the moon landing. So, if you wanted more proof, I mean, no offence, if you'd expect me to get in some kind of spacecraft hurtling around a ball at ridiculous speeds, you're going to have to improve the build quality if you want me to get on board. That's for sure. Because let's have a look at this. Bearing in mind, no sound I should add, we know the globe's scientifically impossible anyway. But when they show us footage like this, I mean, dear oh dear. Again, the build quality of probably Blue Peter. Airfix wouldn't go anywhere near that. Look at it. You want to believe nonsense like that and drop demonstrable reality because of that? You carry on. But for people like myself, I'm going to stick with real science that can be demonstrated. I'm certainly not going to give it up for models that Airfix wouldn't even put their name to. Dear oh dear. Look here. A crude system of springs and levers, a build quality that Blue Peter would struggle to entertain, to be quite honest with you, and stories that are off the chart as far as fantasy and myth and pantomime legend are concerned. Living on a cannibal flying through a vacuum. Here's a tinfoil spacecraft as evidence. Daft stories, springs and levers. Dear oh dear. Again, you want to believe it? You carry on. I don't abandon solid fundamental truths because of Blue Peter build quality, daft stories, springs and levers in a vacuum, and anything else they chuck my way as far as trying to debunk reality. What a mess this globe and this heliocentric space has got itself into. What dear